So now I've got my Google Classroom created, but I need to get some students in this Google Classroom. So how am I going to do that? Well, there are a couple of different ways that you can add students to your Google Classroom. Now here in Isleta this year, if you are a teacher of record and you've got a schedule, all the students who are on your schedule will be rostered into a Google Classroom for you with the same name as that class is, which is kind of nice. So you won't need to make any classes if you don't want to. Now, if you don't want to use those classes, of course you don't have to. You can create your own and invite the students manually to those classes. What's nice about our system doing it is that if a student leaves the district or leaves your classroom and goes to another classroom, they get pulled out of your Google Classroom and you're not going to have to keep track of those students any longer. So that's kind of a nice feature that we have with Google right now, that everything seems to be syncing up very nicely. But again, you don't have to use that. So if you decide you want to use a regular Google Classroom that you've created yourself, now you're going to have to invite those students in. And again, there are a few ways that you can do this. So I'm going to go up here to people, and right here students, and there's a little man with a plus sign, which means this is how I can invite my students. And it says right here invite, I can invite them right here, which is the same as this. So I have a couple of ways. Right here, this is an invite link. So let's say that we're doing a Google Meet, or I have their emails already and there's a lot of kids and I don't want to have to email, I don't want to have to put in their emails into the classroom. All I have to do is email everybody that's in my class. If I already have them in there, I copy this link, and when they click on this link, this invite link, they're going to automatically be put into the Google Classroom. It's really nice how that works. Or what I can do is I can start typing out student names of students that are in the district, and you see I typed ADAN, and immediately I have a whole bunch of ADAN that are coming up, and I add the particular student that I want and I click invite. Okay, so that's how you do that. That's two ways that you can invite students into your classroom. That's kind of like beyond their control, so all they have to do is click a join button. Now if you want to invite your students with a code where they have to hit the join code, that's going to be back here in the stream. Here's the class code up here, and I'm going to make it nice and big so my students can view it, and then they type in the code, and then they're in my Google Classroom. I'm going to give a word of warning about this. If you are teaching little ones, this will be really, really hard for those little guys to get into that Google Classroom. I would recommend letting the system put them in for you, because it's going to be a lot easier and you're not going to have to worry about them not being in your Google Classroom. So that's my take on it. But you've got a code that you can put in, you can give them the invite link, or you can type in their email address and add them into the Google Classroom. Okay, so that's one type of invitation that you want to put out. Maybe you've got another teacher that's down the hall and you are working really closely and doing the same lessons, and you want to be a part of each other's Google Classroom. So you can also invite teachers. So if I go back to people, right up here it says teachers and it has me. I'm the teacher. But if I click on the little plus sign, remember the plus sign, I can type an email address of somebody that I work with and I can invite them as a teacher. Now, the one little thing about adding teachers to your Google Classroom is you can only have a total of 20 teachers per Google Classroom. That means you have to be kind of specific about which teachers you're going to want to add to that classroom. We've gotten lots of calls where they've wanted a whole bunch of teachers in that are teaching different components of like PD, and they're like, oh, we can't get this one teacher. And then I'm like, it's because you already have 20 teachers in there and it's not going to allow that one to come in. So the magic number is 20. Just remember that the magic number is 20. And you just invite, they're going to get an email. Also, when they go into Google Classroom, they will see your classroom and it says that they are invited to teach that classroom with you, and they will have all the same rights as you do. So if you're using Google Meet, they get in that Google Meet first. They're the host for today. So that's something to think about. Okay. So those are the ways that we can invite teachers. Those are the way that we can invite students. But what about parents? What about inviting parents to your Google Classroom? Do you want parents in as students? No, you do not. We want to invite them as guardians. Now, since I just created this class, I don't have anybody in here with me. So what I'm going to do is I have another class that I have open here that I do have students in, and I already have assigned guardians and invited guardians to it. So I'm going to go back up to people, and we're going to look at here. This is digital right here, and digital has a guardian, and it's me, but it's not my email address from the district. This is an outside email address. That is really, really important. Okay. Once you look right down here at Eric, Eric, I invited a guardian which was my email address from the district, and it just does invited. Now, I did this months and months and months ago when I invited myself to be his guardian. I never got the invitation because it's in the district, because it's using the Outlook mail. With Google, of course, they want to use Gmail. So I can't get this information if I'm using my inside YISD account. Now think about that. You've got parents out there who work for the district, who have students in your classroom, or that you work with, that you may want to invite them as a guardian. You'll just need to tell them that they're going to need to give you another email address. They cannot use their YISD email address. They have to use an outside email address, Gmail, Yahoo, whatever. So make sure that you let them know that, because otherwise they won't get any of the stuff that you want to send out to them. Okay. So you'll see here that I can invite guardians on several of these individuals, and several of them have already have already said, yes, I want to be a part of that. Now, what happens for the parent side on, say, their Gmail account, they get an email that says, hey, Google Classroom would like you to be a part of this classroom owned by, and in this case, it's me, Misha Daniel. How would you like to see the notifications? And you get to either see them weekly or you can see them daily. The choice is yours. I have mine on a daily, so I get an email every day for digital badges if there's something new in the classroom, that there's been new assignments posted, or if the teacher needs to contact me. Now, the way that you contact somebody using the guardian list is not to go up here to put a check mark and then say email. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Okay. Let me show you what you want to do. So if you want to, you can't email them all at the same time. You're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to do it individually if you need to make contact with a parent. Every day or every week, the system will automatically send them an email with a Reader's Digest summary of what's going on in that classroom. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to send anything. That will just happen automatically. But if you do need to make contact with a specific parent, and only a specific parent, I mean, I could go right down the list and send an email to everybody, but I have to do it one at a time. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go into digital badges, because digital badges is missing a ton of work. So if I click on digital badges, look at all the assignments that have been assigned, but nothing has been turned in yet. Okay, if I look at the turned in, a couple things have been turned in. I haven't returned anything, but missing a couple of assignments. Okay, so in order to make contact with a parent or somebody, guardian, I need to email them, but I can only email them from this page. Okay, so to do that, I go up here to where this little envelope is, and I'm going to click it. And it's going to say, okay, would you like to send it to the student? No, we can't send it to the student. I'm going to send it to the guardian. And I type my message. Digital is missing some assignments. Okay, so this is my message. I can make my message as long as I want. And then I'm also going to click the check mark here so I can include the student work summary. That's kind of important. And then I'm going to click send. There we go. Okay, so now it's been sent out, and it's been sent out to an outside email address, a Gmail address. Okay. Um, and now I can, if that's me, I can go in there and take a look at it. Okay, so right here, it says Digital's Progress and Practice Classroom. So I'm going to click on it. And this is what I wrote. Digital is missing some assignments. I did write that down, and it says digital badges. And this tells me when it was created, when this summary was created. And if you look down here, here's all the assignments that were assigned. Some of them that were turned in that I have done. And this is what I get every day, or I get every week, depending on what I want as a preference as a guardian. Okay, so this is really valuable to parents, or to anybody who's associated with that child, who wants to know what's going on in the classroom, for that transparency, right? But again, you have to use an outside account to do that. All I did is I just went into the actual student here. I clicked on digital badges, and once I see everything for that one student, I click on the little envelope that's up in the top right, and that's where I can put my message to that parent, as well as add a summary. I don't have to add the summary. You saw it was a check mark, but I choose to do that as the teacher.